Hey, what's up, everyone? Mike Hill, the Wholesaling Titan here. And today's video was called How I Made $10,000 in 23 Hours with No Money Down. I know some people are thinking, man, that's some clickbait stuff right there. Title's a little bit ridiculous, but hey, no shame in my game, man. It absolutely is. But I want people to watch this. But I will tell you, I'm going to do my very best to go ahead and deliver on this. It's going to be one of my last videos of the year, if not the last video of the year. So I wanted to give you some really, really good content. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to walk you through one of my most recent no money down deals. I want to show you as actionable, tangible, as much as I can give you. So if you're taking notes, I highly recommend doing so. And let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, before I start kind of showing you exactly what I did here, I just want to preface kind of who this is for. Obviously, this is for beginners. This is one of my deals that requires no money, or if you don't have a lot of money starting off with, this one's for you. I get a lot of questions, man, and they ask, well, Mike, how do I do a deal, where the seller's requiring 10% earnest money deposit? Now, I do have a couple of strategies and kind of tips and tricks, stuff like that, where you can do these deals, those kind of deals without having that money and capital available. But it's not 100%. It's not going to work every time. It works sometimes, but not all the time. My question is, why would you focus on that? Why so much focus on the deals that you can't do or that you'll have trouble doing when, you got this right here? And I'm going to show you how easy this is in just a minute. But, it's like for me saying like, hey, how can I buy a $20 million apartment if I don't have $20 million? Saying, I don't have $20 million, but you know what I can do? I can go out, flip some houses until I have $20 million. Then I can go and get the apartment building. I'll probably be in a better place to negotiate as well. So yeah, this is definitely for a newbie. But at the same time, if you're an established wholesaler, man, and you're not doing this, you're not implementing this strategy, you're just leaving money on the table. And then at the same time, you're also going to see how this is something very easy to outsource. So if you're an established wholesaler or you do have some money in the bank, this is something you can train an employee, a VA, or someone like that to do on your behalf. And basically, it's just money that comes in. It doesn't really cost you anything. So that said, let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, the source that I got this deal from is the MLS. Now, I hear all the time, no, there's no deals on the MLS. Or, some investors, they'll hit me up and say, I want only, off MLS deals. And my thing is, look, if I have exclusive rights to a property and you can't get it, and you know that you can make 30, 40 grand on it or whatever, do you really care where it comes from? Now, people say, the deals are not there if you go on certain forums. I like participating on these things, but you don't find me there often because there's a lot of negativity. It's just like, that's not possible. Oh, there's no deals there. Oh, it doesn't exist. Oh, wholesale is a scam. All these different things. It's kind of a pain in the ass to be in that environment. But I will show you. Think about it. What is the MLS for? That's where people come. It's a marketplace. Realtors are there. There's agents there. There are deals. Foreclosures are coming. REOs. So if you're in anywhere of a decent market, if you want to know if you're in a decent market, go ahead and check out my video on target markets that'll help you figure it out. There are deals there. And even better, you can do this stuff remote. If I want to call on a property, I'm in Florida now, in California, I can do that and still do the deal there. But anyway, enough rambling for now. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So step one, this is what I do. I search a bunch of different sites, even if it's supposed to, there are different types of MLSs and they're all, proximity based and stuff like that. And even those different sites are supposed to maybe mirror the same things, a lot of times they don't. So I have custom searches set up on all these different sites. So, I've got IDX access, obviously. And remember, I'm not licensed. If you are licensed, it helps. But, on Zillow, which is what I'm showing you here, Movoto is a good one, Trulia, Redfin, all these different things. And so the first thing, sorry, I got to break it into steps for you. Number one, go to Gmail or whatever email account and open up a new email address. Don't use this for anything else. When you go to Best Buy, when you do your rewards card, when you get your junk mail, opt-ins, none of that stuff. This inbox should be only for properties, right? And then when you go to these different sites, Zillow or whatever, you're going to see options where you can create a search and then you'll want to save the search. Now you create the search with certain criteria, and there's probably an infinite amount of the different criteria you can put together. But I'll show you that in just a second. And then you want to save the search and have it automatically deliver any properties that match your search immediately, right? So if you're a student in my program, for example, you have access in our in the membership area to all of the different sites that I use, and then all of the different criteria and combinations of criteria that I put together. So for example, it'll be things that sell well in various markets. But for example, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single family houses that are concrete block that sell in, and then a certain zip code for, let's say, between 100 and 150 that have, and then, there'll be estimated market value, depends on the site you're on, or perhaps keywords. I really like using keywords. I was talking to a student yesterday. He was asking me about, expired lists or listings over, let's say, 90 days old on the MLS. I said, yeah, that, there's an argument for that, and a lot of times those sellers will be more open to taking lower offers. There's probably not as much competition, but I like using keywords because if you, let's say, use the keyword mold, right? Let's say a property hits the MLS and the listing agent puts in there, this place is full of mold. Well, that's indicative that that place needs some work, and it's probably going to be available, cheap at a discounted rate because there's money to be made. So if it comes onto the MLS with that keyword mold, if you wait 90 days, chances are you wait 90 days to see it, you'll never see it because another investor is going to find it and scoop it up before that search comes in. So this is my inbox showing some of the stuff I've got for Zillow. And you can see this stuff comes into one specific inbox every single day. Now, a couple weeks ago, I had one of my searches set up. You can see here, for example, I put the names in there so I kind of know what I'm looking at, but it says TLC, so that's realtor speak. Need some TLC between 30K and 250K, 2+ bedrooms, and then I've got some other criteria in here. So I'm going to show you the actual one I did, and we'll take a look at it. So this is my search results, came in. Bang, let's go check this listing, right? So this came into my inbox. Now, as soon as I saw it, I know the area. I said, I know some people who might be interested. Let me just look at it. So again, I went straight to Zillow. And the first thing I do is when I get here is I hit the expand button. So we expanded, was for sale for $169,000. So the first thing I'm going to do, again, you guys have heard me rant about this ARV and 65% and all that stuff and running comps. And look, it's one thing if you're dealing with a direct seller, first of all, but when you're just checking these things that come through the MLS, you need quick comps, you need to move very quickly. This is just how I do it. Bam, I hit Zillow. There's Zestimate number here. I ignore it completely. What I do is I scroll down. Similar homes for sale. I don't give a crap about it. That's asking price. It means nothing. But here, similar sales. These are actual sales. So I click here. Then I want to look at proximity, right? So I like to zoom in. A lot of times we want to be in the same subdivision, which are often broken up by like major roads. This is US 1 here. This is the highway track. So this, even if it were close proximity, is a little bit far. But this stuff here, yeah, I know this is going to be good stuff. So then I start looking through these things. I click the yellows. Okay, that was sold for $265. This sold for $166. That's kind of a gap, but still enough for me to be interested. Also, I want to just take a quick look at the pictures, make sure the build looks similar or the same. I don't want to compare, a wood frame single family house to like a block condo or whatever. But I start to look down here. I see, hey, there's some stuff that looks similar. They're selling for $200. I'm interested, right? So what do I do next? The thing I do immediately is I call the listing agent. Now, you do not want to be calling. You'll see over here they'd be like premier agents and stuff like that. Those are buyer's agents, so you don't want to deal with those. You want to call the listing agent. And now here's where, competence and breeds confidence type thing comes into play. You've got to make these calls and you just get good in time. Now, I can't even tell you how many phone calls I've made, hundreds and hundreds of calls. And to this day, I still use a script. I've gotten this from the best guys in the business. It's not something I came up with on my own. This is from my real estate mentor, from top sales guys like Greg Cardone, Jordan Belfort. They all talk about the importance of having a script. So I work from a script. It makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about. And also, I've been talking to people, so I just kind of know how to talk the talk. And that's something I focus on with my students quite a bit. So this is my listing agent script. Boom, I pulled this up. Now, if you were on my last webinar, not on my YouTube channel, but the live one that I did, I bribed you ethically to stick with me through the end. And when you do, I give you a copy of this script that I use. Now, that webinar is down, but I'm doing another live webinar sometime soon. And I'm going to ethically bribe you again. If you stick with me to the end, I will give you this script for free, which is cool. Also, what was I going to tell you about this? Oh, the last webinar, I got a little out of control. It was 2 hours long. It's a bit much. I'm going to keep this one to 1 hour. It's going to be how to do your first or next real estate deal in the next 36 days. And you'll get this script. Also, I'll talk to you guys. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this is just one script. I've got tons of them for all different situations. And also, I'm going to be doing kind of a training on not just the script, but making the calls and basically getting the contract. Talk to you a little bit more about that afterwards, because that's not what we're focused on now. So anyway, I call this listing agent. I stick to the script. It goes well. I say, look, one thing I want to stress on the phone, I don't want to show any that I'm tentative. Hey, can you give me information? I want to know a little bit. Say, hey, dude, I want this. I know this area. I like it. I want it. Boom. So I called him. I said, hey, man, I want this. I want this. I want this. A couple other things I said in there. And, he was, feeling it, whatever. I said, okay, hey, check this out, man. I'll send you the contract. I send it to you right now, right now. So that's within 5 minutes of this hitting my inbox. Hit my inbox, took a look at it. 5 minutes, I'm on the phone. Boom. This business rewards speed of implementation. If you want to write something else down, speed of implementation, right? Next thing I do, bang, I go to my favorite program, Renegotiating. This is a CRM. Now, again, I know this program is how I did it with no money. Yes, this is a paid program. I pay for it. Something I use to run my business. Do you need it? Absolutely not. Do I use it? Of course, it helps me out. You don't need it to wholesale, but I think in time, the analogy I've used before, it's like a restaurant. If you open a restaurant, you could just take orders on, paper and pen. If you want to expand, get bigger, franchise, does it help to have the point of sale system with the touch screen, like, McDonald's or something? Sure. Do you need it initially? No. So anyway, what I do is I go here, I use this system to bid and submit offers as well, but I can just, with the click of a button, boom, my contracts are all automatically filled out. The templates are there. So literally, like 2 clicks of a button, I just put in the offer price. All of my other information is automatically populated. I pop in the listing agent's email, which I got on my call with him, and then boom, I just send the offer out. When I say pre-populated, that includes all of the contract clauses that I have in my Ironclad Contract Clauses ebook, which is pretty dope. I've got some stuff in there that you can add to your contract. That is available on my website if you want to check it out. It's like $9 or $10, wholesalingwithmike.com. Also, if you guys do want to use Renegotiating, again, you don't need to, but it's Florida specific only. If you use my discount code, it's 4409. They give you, I don't know, the normal price for this is like $229 a month for all counties in Florida, and I pay $174 a month. So you get that same discount, and then they give me like 10 or 20% off. So that's a win-win. Anyway, so again, now we're back to the timeline. Hit the inbox, looked it up. It looked good. I sent the offer. Now, what did I send the offer, right? Now, remember, I told you guys it was $169 was the asking price. Now, I saw stuff for $200. Not even 100% confident in the actual comps, but I kind of know that area as well. I kind of know what people are paying for it. So I knew at that price, it was a good price, because the listing also, I failed to mention, but it said this thing needs some work. Now, if I had done this whole calculation and, estimated, let's say 180 and did this ARV 65%, blah, 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 the offer probably would have been like 110, 120. And this was new to the market. This is day one. Like I said, it just came out. If I made that offer, there's no freaking way that would have gotten accepted. So what did I do? I made the offer at 160, $10,000 less. Could you say I kind of pulled that out of the air? To a degree, yeah, but my focus was to get this property under contract because I needed that control. And that's the primary thing. When I talk to students, I break it down in steps. It's not don't jump to the end of the process. The first thing, we got to have control. So that's what I did. So within a couple minutes of seeing this, I was on the phone with the agent. I said, hey, I'm going to shoot you the contract. I sent it to him. Bang, it came up. And I'm going to drag it over in just a second. Bam, there it is. Whoops. What am I doing? Okay, yeah. So there is my contract. So it came on in. Purchase price $160,000. And again, if you guys don't have RealFax, which saves me a lot of time, or FreedomSoft or any of these CRMs, that's all good, man. You can use a PDF program where you can write on top. So I don't know what the PC version is. I think it's like Adobe, one of those Adobe programs. But like here in on the Mac, you just use Preview. You can even sign on the trackpad. So I'd recommend have a contract pre-filled out with all your terms. You know, my stuff from contract. Ironclad contract clauses, as well as your inspection period, your title company, all those different things. And then you just fill in the purchase price, save you some time, and you can get the offer out in another 5 minutes. So bang, within 1 day, they sent the contract back to me, executed. Okay, cool, I like it. Now, with a lot of these things, when I get contracts accepted, you don't have to go to the property. And a lot of times, I don't. A lot of the properties I sell in wholesale, I've never even seen them. A lot of times they're in places where I don't even know where they are. Now this one, because I did know the area to a degree, it's not like one of my main places, but I'm pretty familiar, but I thought it was worth taking a trip. So I did go out there. I don't recommend that you always meet with the listing agent, but in this case, I was open to it because I had some buyers in mind. So I did. I took a lot of pictures. If you do go see these places, take a lot of pictures, a lot of video. It makes it a lot easier to sell. Next thing I did, remember, I'm trying to sell you guys in steps. So in this contract, I offered 160. Asking price was 169. The seller said yes. Signed. I have an executed contract. I agreed to close within about 30 days. A little bit less than that. I agreed to close in 3 weeks. And the inspection period was 7 days. So I had 7 days to sell it. So next thing I did is send it out on to my buyers list. Now, I use GetResponse. If you guys need a good email provider or not direct mail, email marketing, whatever you call it. There are a lot of different ones, Aweber, MailChimp, something like that. I use GetResponse. Part of it was by chance. When I first started, they had a 30-day free trial. And I just really liked it. So this is a copy of my newsletter where I, a little bit of my branding. I try to make it fun and stuff like that. I always have a random share of the day. Sometimes it's a life hack. Sometimes I just want to put a smile on people's face. And it also helps get my emails open. So that's kind of cool. A little bit goofy. And then I try to make these things easy to read, and I put some information there. So this is an older one. This is not the property itself, but just to give you an idea. Also, if you're watching this in real time, let's say like the December 19th, 20th, something like that, I am putting out 4 new properties today. One is Hollywood, Florida, Tampa, Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, and Delray Beach, Florida, brand new. I'll be sending those out. If you guys want to see the email, a lot of stuff that I sell gets sold via my email blast before it ever makes it to my website. So it may never make it to my website. So if you want first dibs, check it out. And if you bring a buyer for any of those properties, I love to JV. I believe in taking the fast nickel over the slow dime. I like forming good relationships. So you find me a buyer, bring it to me. I'll send you a JV contract, everything in writing with my signature so you're not worried. And we can split that 50-50. That's a way for you to make money right there. I got inventory. It will cost you nothing. You got an uncle who's looking for stuff, wants a property. Hey, uncle, I got something for you, man. And I'll split the deal with you. No money down deal. Really not that hard. If you want to get on my e-blast, just go to investingwithmike.com. Put your email in there. You'll get that e-blast. So it's another way I gave you to make some money. So what I did, I put the property out on this blast. I put it out at 169. Now that's matching the price that was listed on the MLS. Typically, I tell my students to try not to do that, and especially not to go over, because let's say if I had asked 175 and someone saw it at 169, they'd be like, hey, what's going on here? Or they would know to wait until my contract expired, and then they would try to go behind me or put a backup contract. But sometimes it's just a really good deal, and a savvy investor will just be like, hey, this guy probably got it at asking or a little bit below that, but I want it, so I'll go ahead and take it. And I felt like that was the case with this one because it looked like a good property, especially after I had been in there and kind of saw what was going on. I put it out at 169. Almost immediately, I got several offers, or at least some interest and stuff like that, and that's where some of the sales skills come in. And I've got scripts for those as well, working with my buyers, and just trying to give information, showing third-party stuff like that. I have a bunch of training on that stuff I work with my students on. And so I got, take a guess, within, I don't know, maybe 24 hours or so, I got an offer. 1 second here. Okay, so I got an offer on the phone. And one thing, you're going to get a lot of offers, not always from qualified people. In fact, a lot of times wholesalers will call you and say they're cash buyers, but you can tell by the way they speak if this person's serious, or if they're asking for long inspection periods, stuff like that. So I was very clear with them. I said, hey, this is what I need. These are my terms. And he said, yeah, that's cool. So what did I do? Speed of implementation again. Boom. I got back into ReFax, generated a contract. I have templates set up for when I'm making offers, and then I have a template set up for, when I'm the seller. So I generated that contract within a minute. Again, if you're not using ReFax, just have a template pre-filled out to the best of your ability. You obviously the date and the sell price has to change, but there are a couple things that are pretty standard, including a lot of the clauses that I use, especially when you're selling, because you have to make sure those are tight. So 0 inspection period. I usually put in there, the buyer will give me 14 days, will extend closing date for 14 days for any reason, just in case something happens or goes wrong. And a couple different other clauses in there, just so my contract is tight. So anyway, I let him know that. And then another little tip and trick, remember, I'm trying to move with a sense of urgency. I want to get this sold. I have a 7-day inspection period. So I generated the contract in ReFax, but rather than emailing him the blank contract, because then he would either have to print it out or scan it back in. I don't know what he was working with. I sent it via DocuSign. So DocuSign, you can just go on there. It's an internet it's a website, and I got that pulled up here too if you guys want to check it out. Just see how it's spelled and stuff. But it's really cool, man. It helps you get your deals done a lot faster. So basically, I took the contract, uploaded it. I marked where he needed to sign. It's also cool because, people can't make changes when it comes to negotiating, especially. I always tell my students, control the paperwork. Because then people can't make changes and cross things out and stuff like that. You're like, these are my terms. When you want to be firm with some stuff, here it is. You show them where to sign. It's funny, some people don't even read it. They just click, 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 click. Sign. And then DocuSign is cool because not only does it make things more or less instantaneous, but it confirms their, they have to sign on to agree to electronic signatures, and then it records their IP address and all that stuff, so it's legit. So anyway, I sent that, and then I'm able to get the signed contract back, boom, instantly. And then I also let them know another clause I have in my contract is that this contract is not binding until your earnest money deposit has been received by my title company, which was the next step, which this buyer was very awesome about. Put that up immediately and sent me confirmation. So within a couple of hours of putting this stuff out, man, it's right there. So you'll see this is what we call the A to B contract. This is what I've got pulled up here, right? And that just means that's between me and the original seller. You see there the price we have is $160, and my initial deposit was $1,000 on the contract. Next, this is the B2C contract. This is the one I generated, sent to the buyer that he signed via DocuSign. You will see here the purchase price is $169,000. He agreed to, and $5,000. So that means here I'm making a $9,000 spread. Now, because we're double closing, it's actually a little bit less than that because there are closing costs and stuff like that. But for the sake of simplicity on this video, we'll just say it's about $9,000. Also, this deal was a little bit different. The seller insisted on using their title company. I typically don't like to do that. I like to do the A to B and B to C at my title company because I know, they got my back. Everything's disclosure, stuff like that is not going to get, messed with. It's just cleaner. It's easier. But I know how to work it. If the A to B needs to be somewhere else, B to C needs to be somewhere else, I know how to do that. So that was fine. So, but that also, when they do that, then the seller is responsible for their A to B closing costs. So it saves me a little bit of money too, which is cool. So that's fine. Also, you'll notice I required a $5,000 deposit from my buyer. It's because I want to see skin in the game. But also, if they then renege on this contract, I would in time owe the seller. A lot of times they don't even ask for it, but if they did, I would owe them $1,000. But then I would get to keep this $5,000 non-refundable. So I'd make $4,000 on a contract that didn't even close. Not bad deal, right? So, okay, boom. I got a $9,000 spread. And that was done within, I don't know, a matter of hours, 48 hours, whatever it was, very, very quickly. So that $10,000, well, how do we get there, right? Now, this is something that you should do on every single contract. Every wholesaler should be doing this. Let me rephrase that. There's almost every, I have a rule, I want to be a decent person. If you're working with a direct seller or someone's in a financially hard situation, you don't want to, you just don't want to take someone for all they've got. So I don't mean it in that way to abuse people. But for example, if I'm working on REO or bank or something like that, I'm always going to go back and ask for this price reduction. Sorry, rambled a little bit, but I'll get to that. I'll make it clearer in just a second. So also remember, I put this thing out at $169. Now this buyer took it at $169, but let's say he made me an offer at $165, and I had a $5,000 spread. Either way, I would always go back to the seller and ask for a price reduction. So I got it here, guys. This is the email. Now you can do this over the phone. I have a script for that. Ways to negotiate, whatever. But in this case, I just did it via email. So I basically said, okay, we're talking about deposit confirmation, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I basically wrote to the listing agent. As far as inspection goes, the property was in rougher condition than initially anticipated. So this, I'm talking to the person from who I got the 160 contract in 160. For example, I believe the listing indicated that there was central AC, but the unit's completely shot. This is just kind of knowing how to talk the talk, but I've got some standard templates for this as well. The larger issue, however, is that the listing indicated that this was CBS and it's actually frame stucco. On the west wall, there's significant structural damage. See photos below. To be honest, I don't know if it's actually structural, but it kind of looked like that. It just sounded like something good to say, so I put it in there. That are going to be that are going to be problematic and fairly expensive. Indeed, I think some of the offers that you received in the 120s and 30s, again making assumptions based on some of our discussion, are more where I'd like to be ideally based on the results of the inspection. Nonetheless, I do like the area, and I think we're in the ballpark of a mutually agreeable deal where everyone can walk away happy. I'm ideally looking for $130,000, but my initial offer was $160, and the seller was agreeable to $160. I've attached an addendum to the contract asking for a slight reduction to what I believe would be a good compromise at a purchase price of $150. Upon execution of the addendum, we can end the inspection period early and get this one closed ASAP. So I still make it in their best interest. Please let me know what you can do. Thanks again for everything. And then I include some of the photos and pictures on this deal. All right. And then here is a copy of the actual addendum that I sent. And some people, guys, don't make this stuff extra complicated. It should be super simple. And a lot of times, in fact, the less you say, the better. Now remember, at this point, I already got my buyer lined up. So the buyer's buying from me for $169. So remember, I have that $9,000 spread. It's there. This is just asking for extra. Now, if the buyer says no to this, I'm still in $9,000. That's why I don't go back and say, hey, I don't want this. I'm canceling my contract unless you give me. No. That's not how it works. I got my $9,000. I was hoping, maybe they come back. Well, I was hoping they just agree to the addendum, but sometimes they'll come back and say, well, I'm not going to give you a $10,000 reduction, but I'll give you $5,000. So, okay, I'll take $5,000 for what? The cost of sending an email? So anyway, I just sent this addendum. This is all it needs to say. Buyer and seller mutually agreed to a new purchase price of $150,000. Inspection period will end immediately upon the execution of this addendum. Done. I don't need a big complicated, this is my inspection findings, this is the report, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you do have an inspection report, it'll probably help. Anything that you have tangible ever, which is why I included the pictures, will help. But a lot of times it's not necessary. Now, so here's what I want you to look at. All I did was send an email asking for a $10,000 price reduction. I sent this email on November 9th at 11:54 a.m. Now, oops, sorry, I see addendum again. This email. Sorry, yeah, it's technical difficulty. Where am I? Oh, here we go. This one. Okay, November 9th, 11:54, November 10th, 10 a.m. Hello, Mike. The seller agreed to the change in purchase price. See attached. So by sending this email at 11:54 on November 9th, at 10 a.m. on November 10th, I made $10,000. And that's how I made $10,000 in less than 24 hours, in 23 hours, with no money. So it's just by asking, is this going to work every time? No. Sometimes can I get $1,000, $2,000, $5,000? Absolutely. So why would you not be doing this in your business? Why would you be leaving money on the table? I don't know. So that's how I did it. Well, look here. This is the HUD-1 statement. So this is the A to B side. So you guys will see our contract sales price, $150,000. That's what I was purchasing this for. Again, this went down at the seller title company, so they paid a lot of these closing costs. What I did there is I told them, look, you guys can do this, but I want my title company to do a courtesy close, which basically just means they're going to look over all of the paperwork just to ensure that my interests are protected. That's all you need to say, and 99.9% of the time, well, for me, it's been 100%. Nobody ever says no. You can do that, attorney, whatever it is. They're just going to look over. So that went down, right? Oh, Mike, I don't have $150,000. That's what transactional funding is for. I will give you transactional funding. All you got to do is let me know. I have an A to B contract signed and executed. I have a B to C contract signed and executed. And I have a deposit from the end buyer. You got to do this with my preferred title company. They close everywhere in the state of Florida. Very, very good. They will look out for you to take care of you. But you do that, I send you $150,000 to pay for it. There is a 1% fee. I don't take it on the front end, so it's not like you don't need that money. Literally no money down. I send it in. When you get your money back, let's say you make 10 grand, you're going to pay me 1%, and that's pretty standard. And that's it. That's how you do it, no money down. So that's the A to B side. And then as soon as that closes, check it out. Oh, wrong way. The B to C side. So now this is me selling it to my end buyer. So you're going to see right here, contract sale price here, $169,000. So remember, I bought it for $150, sold it for $169. We got some, I don't know, doc stamps and fees and stuff like that to pay. But here we go. Cash to seller, because remember, I was the buyer in the first transaction here. Now I'm the seller. So right there, cash to seller, and that's the $17,605.54. So my friends, that is how you can make 10 G's. Now, people will tell you, like I said, back to these forums and some of the naysayers, wholesaling is hard. Wholesaling is not easy. I gotta ask you, man, like seriously, how hard was this? Is this something you would consider difficult? Is this something that, I have a degree, 4-year degree from Duke University that cost me 6 figures. Did I need that degree to do this deal? Absolutely not. Is it difficult? Absolutely not. So what does it take to be a successful wholesaler? Basically, what it takes is a couple things, right? Number one, it takes consistency. So you guys will see this phone call that I made and be like, man, that's cool. But maybe you didn't see the 20 I made before this that didn't work, that I didn't get the contract on, that someone told me, I'm insulted by your offer, fuck off. Their words, not mine. And people, yeah, people do get that nasty. Um, but I stick with it. Consistency, the habit. I've said this before. It's like the gym. You can go in and do 1,000 push-ups in a day. You're not going to be ripped, and you're not going to be, that much stronger. But if you go in 20 push-ups every single day, or trying to lose some weight, a jog 20 minutes every single day, you'll get the results. You'll see them. You need consistency. You need persistence. And then you just need knowledge. You need training skills. I make videos. I put out my ebooks, stuff like that. I got a bunch of resources on my website, Wholesaling with Mike. If you guys want to check those out, you just got to learn. Now, I talked to you guys. I got the mentoring program. I have students doing very, very well in that program. A lot of this stuff, a lot of wholesaling is actually, it's not that it's simple. It's not that it's difficult. But what happens is, along the way, you get a lot of obstacles that pop up. And wholesaling, you're a problem solver. Usually the seller is the one who has a problem. And to the degree that you can solve it, to the degree you get paid. And there are different levels, So like I said before, you can do deals with no money. Am I telling you to run a business with no money? Absolutely not. I'm telling you to do a couple deals with no money to prove to yourself this can be done. At least get you on the right page mentally. Build up some momentum and build up some capital. So you're like, hey, yeah, now I got a little money, right? So I could throw it into my my email marketing, or into my marketing, stuff like that. And then these are tools in your belt. So when you have a certain skill set, when you know what to say, when you have scripts, you can do more deals. When you have a little money in your pocket for earnest money, you can put up bigger deposits. Everything stacks on top of each other. You have access. When you get a decent proof of funds, in the beginning, use crappy proof of funds. You do deals with no proof of funds there. Then you use the crappy free one. Then you use the paid one that comes with a bank statement. Then eventually you get your own bank statement that has sufficient funds in there. Every level, you just open yourself up to being able to do more and more deals. So that's just one example. But along the way, there are different obstacles that pop up. So, when a listing agent's asking you certain questions, when they email you something, how do you respond? It's just one of the things that I provide for my students. They can just CC me on an email. Hey, listing agent said this. How do I respond? I write the response up for them. They copy it, they paste it, they send it back. I've got experience in the game at this point where I've seen pretty much everything that comes in the wholesaling field. And rather than you go out and learn the hard way, which you absolutely can do, it's like the gym. Do you need a personal trainer to get fit? Absolutely not. Does it help? Absolutely. You can cut your learning curve. They can tell you, your diet. They can help you schedule a plan. They can give you feedback, stuff like that. And that's what I do with my students. And I'm putting this out there because, as I open up spots and stuff like that, depending on when you watch this video, I like getting people in this program. It's mutually beneficial. It's awesome. I enjoy teaching. It's financially beneficial to me. I do joint venture deals with my students. I get to see my students come up. I hear great success stories. So yeah, it's just a win-win all around. I'm putting that link in the description below. Also, if you guys are not ready for that or whatever, keep learning. Participate on those forums, but don't get swayed by the naysayers. Check out my website, wholesalingwithmike.com. I've got a lot of free resources on there that are not here on the YouTube channel, so definitely peep that. Two things I'll point out too, needmotivatedsellers.com. That's my latest ebook. It is for free. That's 41 ways to find motivated sellers fast as hell. I got some dope stuff on there. Cashbuyersdirect.com. If you're looking for buyers, you get a free ebook there and a free sample buyers list. I know I'm going on a whole bunch of stuff I got, but like I said, man, this is the end of the year. So I'm ending 27 with some good resources for you guys. My goal for next year is to make 100 six-figure income earners. So that is the goal for next year. I got 365 days, but if you know me, you know I'm going to get started early on that. And then one last thing that is not out yet is that I'm making a program just focused on getting the contract. This is going to have all those scripts that I was talking to you about, as well as, sales techniques, being on the phone, NLP, all these different things, how I get my contracts accepted. I find that a lot of students have been struggling with that. Now, obviously, I'm going to have some of my free videos just like this that you guys can just enjoy no matter who you are, whatever. That program I'm going to create is going to be a paid program. It's going to be very, very rich in content. I'm going to offer, I think I'm going to price it at $197. If you guys, eventually I'm going to have a link on here. Probably my next video, I'll be talking about this a little bit more. If you pre-order it, I'm going to do half off. It'll be 97 bucks. And if you are a student in my mentoring program before the program drops, you will get that program for free. Actually, any of my mentoring students get any future product that I put out for free. So that is where I'm ending this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have questions on this, please leave a comment. Hit me up on social media, Instagram, Snapchat. I got a lot of links going in the description today. Hold me accountable if I forget. Sometimes I say, hey, I'm putting links in here and I forget to do it. So I got to put all that stuff on there. I do get a lot of messages, but I try to respond to pretty much everyone, as many as I can. If I miss you, don't take it personally, man. Just hit me up. Be persistent. It's a good exercise for you. Facebook's probably the best place to hit me in terms of messages. Also, comments on here. I try to get back to you then. Just want to help you guys, man. Don't wait till 2018 to get this started. Start this now. Hit me if you got questions. Have a fantastic new year and a wonderful 2018. If you're watching this in 2018, hope your year is stellar and going well. I think that is all from me, guys. If you enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel. I'm always looking for advice on new content to make. So if you have something, if you have a question specific to you, I'll probably just shoot you a message. But if it's recurring amongst a lot of people, I'll do a video on it. Thank you guys again for watching. Please subscribe, hit me up on social media, and I will be back soon, maybe in the new year, with some more free content, some premium products. And remember my goal, 100 people, six-figure earners. I hope that you are one of them. Thank you again. This is Mike Hill, the Wholesaling Titan, and I'm out. Peace.